She live in Vietnam. She stay in my village in Vietnam.
Really?
Yes. Wow.
You know her?
No, I don't know her, but I know her uncle.
He knows his village.
My cousin is a Buddhist nun, and this is the temple that she lives at. It's about an hour and a half outside of Saigon. And the nun that my dad was just speaking to, it turned out that she lived in the same village that my dad grew up in, and he actually knew her uncle as well. This was definitely one of the highlights for many of us. It was really incredible to experience this culture and this religion in such a personal way, and having a cousin who's actually a Buddhist nun, I felt like really afforded us a little peek into it we would not have seen otherwise. The Buddhist nuns were very hospitable towards us. They made us breakfast, even though they had already eaten much earlier, as is their custom. They went ahead and made us breakfast since they knew we were coming. Made us a lot of really good, amazing vegetarian food. I was absolutely in heaven. The nun on the left is my cousin, and the man walking up to her, that is her father, my dad's older brother. After we were done at my cousin's temple that she lives at, we moved on to a larger temple just down the road. This is where she started when she was much, much younger. She became a nun at 7 years old. It was very difficult for her mother, as anybody could imagine, but she's absolutely where you can tell she is her happiest. The nuns here treated us to tea. Once again, a level of hospitality that I just don't believe I've ever seen before. This Buddhist nun made each of us personalized signs on this really nice tapestry. Ours said love in Vietnamese. We then went up the hill to this area where the French had built some buildings when they had occupied Vietnam. This area is now fairly popular for camping, and they also see a little more rise in tourists during Tet. Once we came back down the hill, my nephew got to ride on the back of a moped with my cousin, and they headed back to her parents' house, which was about 20 minutes away. This is my dad's older brother's farm that sits right next to their house. They grow primarily black peppers. The black peppers come on vines, so they have these really long, thin trees that are planted all over to let the peppercorn vines grow up them. Really interesting how they do it. They also had some bananas here that they grew. Later that afternoon, they had a wedding party for my cousin who got married that weekend. And then we moved on to his mother's house, and this is her farm where they also grow black peppers. And this is a papaya tree that we were able to get a fruit from to enjoy it fresh. That night we drove about 8 hours to my cousin's bride's village of Dak Nung. They had a brief ceremony here, and then they also had a reception right after. We then headed back on the bus for another 8-hour ride to Ta Hua, my aunt's farm and home, where we once again had a small ceremony and a reception as well.